Hi guys, Paul from Warrior Tactical Systems here. So who needs Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? We've all heard it before. I just bite and gouge on the ground. I don't need that stuff. I just, I'll gouge out their eye and, I don't need to know all those techniques and stuff. Well, the problem with that is if you don't know what you're doing on the ground, just biting and gouging isn't the answer. It's not going to get you the result you want because you're going to bite and gouge at the wrong time with the wrong person in the wrong position, and they're going to have control and they can hurt you a lot worse than you can hurt them. So for example, if Greg comes in here, if I'm in the mount position, okay, and the guy on the bottom here doesn't know any jiu-jitsu, but he knows to gouge the eyes. Alright? So if he reaches up to gouge my eye, just thumbs my eye, it's going to hurt, but it's not necessarily going to finish me. I'm going to pull away, and I can get away from him very easily. Now it hurt. I know what kind of fight we're in here. He's, taking it to another level. So, I can start attacking. If he's pushing away like this, still reaching, I could go to an arm bar. He could get in some serious trouble here real quick if he doesn't know how to fight on the ground. And if I decide to gouge, now when I gouge, he can't go anywhere. His head's on the ground, and I can really drive in and get that leverage. So not knowing how, the positions work and when and where to bite and gouge, you're at a significant disadvantage. You might get by with it in some situations, but there are other situations where you're just going to get yourself in a lot more trouble. Okay. Same thing with biting. If he doesn't know when to bite, he just bites my arm here. He has no control over me. So I can hit him to get him off of my arm, rip it away, and now I know what kind of fight we're in. All right. So I can escalate it. Now, the same thing applies on the other end of it, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu end. Some people say, well, if I just do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'll just throw in the dirt. But again, if you don't know when and where to throw that in, how to use positional advantage to do that, and what it takes to get the job done, then you're not going to get the result you want. Okay, thanks, Greg. So again, you got to train to recognize those opportunities, when the opportunity to bite is, how to bite uninterrupted, the proper technique to biting, how to gouge properly, the proper technique to that, and learning the timing and position to do that. So that takes training. You have to roll back and forth. You have to know positions. You have to know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And once you know that and train for that and work for that, you can start recognizing those opportunities. So if you just do Jiu-Jitsu all the time, and somebody who does Jiu-Jitsu and the biting and gouging, you might be a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, but you're only a white belt in biting and gouging in Jiu-Jitsu. It's the same as if you are really good at Jiu-Jitsu and you never get mounted anymore. You're just too good to get for somebody to get in a mount position on you. You're a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, but you might only be a brown or a purple belt in mount escapes because it just never happens to you. So by working this and drilling it and finding those opportunities, finding the timing, you're going to be at a higher level. Now I'll grant you that somebody that has a Jiu-Jitsu background, wrestling background, if they have those skill sets, that dynamic, and then you teach them some basics of biting and gouging, that's a much more dangerous animal. Okay, so again, train for what you're trying to do. If you want to train for self-defense, think about adding in that biting and gouging element. And no matter what you do, if you're training for practical self-defense, train on the ground. You have to work it. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already, and leave us a comment below. Thank you.